This video is about Silva Method and Silva Method techniques. In this video, we're going to talk about the three fingers and the different applications that you can use for the three fingers technique. Hello, my name is Stephen Dobos and I am an abundance scientist coach as well as a Silva Method instructor. If you want to get more information about the Silva Method, Law of Attraction and Abundance, then subscribe to the channel by clicking on the button below.
Hi, this is Stephen Dobos, and I'm here talking with Lee Pascoe about the three fingers technique and the applications in the Silva Method. Lee Pascoe is the international training instructor in Europe, and she trains Silva instructors in Europe and around the world in the original series, the basic lecture series that Jose Silva designed in the 1960s. Hello, Lee. It's wonderful to see you here today.
Hello, Stephen. It's wonderful to be here and to meet your Canadian people.
Canadians, Americans, and all the world, right? We're going to be on YouTube.
You've got a worldwide audience. Oh, hello, everybody.
Lee, the reason I'm so excited to speak to you is because apart from you being an international training instructor, you have done something amazing. And this is one of the main questions that I get from students after they take the course, after they repeat the course for the first time, or we get on to follow-up sessions. They say, well, what other things can I use the three fingers method for? And then when I heard that you had made a list of 200 applications for the three fingers technique, I said, I gotta talk to Lee Pascoe because she knows exactly what can be done, and it really gives those of us who've taken the Silva Method and those who haven't taken the Silva Method the super practicality of this technique. So could you give a little introduction as to, for those of us who don't know too much about the Silva Method, what the Silva Method is and what the three fingers application is inside of the Silva Method?
I would be very happy to. Hang on, I have to click on something here. So the Silva Method, for those who don't know it, is based on a sort of active meditation where you close your eyes, you do a special countdown and a special system, and you go to what we call the alpha level, which is a meditation level, but where the mind is still relatively active. And anything that you do at alpha level, you are more calm, you're more concentrated, you have better memory and learning, you have better imagination. Everything that's mental works better at the alpha level, which is great. But there are so many times in the day, in our normal lifetimes, when we would probably say, oh, if only I were at the alpha level, but we're in full activity. For example, I might be standing up at a business meeting and somebody asks me a question and I go, oh my God, I've read somewhere about that. I think I know now. I can't say to them, excuse me, I just need to sit down and close my eyes for a little while and go to my alpha level and I'll find the answer for you. So the three finger technique is, it starts with an exercise we do in the class where we're taken to the alpha level. And then while we're at the level, we make this gesture. Now, basically, the technique is this. Boom. You just touch together the thumb, index, and next finger, and you make a little circle like that. That is the entire technique. So it's probably the easiest technique to learn in. So you don't have to remember any formulas. You don't have to do anything special. The entire technique consists of going like this. Boom. For whatever you need it to do. So while they're at level and they've got their fingers together, we program them that any time in the future they do that, they will be as if. Now, they may not actually be physically at alpha, registering like something like 10 cycles a second, but they will be in the alpha mind state. They'll be in that state of mind that corresponds with alpha, and it's instantaneous. So it's perfect to use for any time when you're getting stressed or angry or you can't control your emotions. You just go like, and you can feel yourself instantly calming down. You can also turn on qualities that sometimes you can only get in alpha, and that's intuition, creativity, imagination, all of these things. So basically everything works better when you're at this level. So anytime, during day, night, at home when you're alone, when you're with people, any particular station, when you suddenly feel like, I need to be more calm, I need to be more concentrated, I need to switch myself on, that's when you can do it. And when you say 200 applications, there are thousands of applications. They were just some I put together. It was a drive. We had a very lovely silver instructor. You may have heard of her, Nelda Sheets.
Yes.
Nelda Sheets was in the very first class that Jose Silva taught in Amarillo in Texas for the public in a university and a group of artists. And she was also one of the first female instructor. So Nelda had come to France to give a class, and we had a little bit of time to take her around, do some sightseeing. She wanted to see the cave paintings in the south of France. So we had a long car trip. So it's Nelda and one of her friends and myself and my husband. We're all Silva graduates. And we got to talking about the three-finger techniques. Well, all of these ideas came out, and we were laughing like crazy at some of the things that she was saying. And at other times she said, do you know when and it was used for this? And we were all comparing our own experiences and experiences that graduates had given us. And so I said, I've got to make a list of this because this could be really, really good fun for graduates. So you now have the list.
I do have the list, and that's what prompted me to say, my goodness, I got to talk to Lee because she knows everything. And so
not quite, but if I don't know it, I can go look for it.
So let me just summarize for those who aren't Silva grads, is the three fingers technique is like a reset in some cases. When we're overly active or overly anxious, then the three fingers technique will actually give us a reset. In other cases, we can actually use the three fingers technique and it will center us or bring out those benefits or those qualities which we actually want to use. And I think one of the ones which is probably the most popular is, if I'm nervous in front of a group of people, I can put the three fingers technique to calm down. Or if I'm presenting in front of a group of people, I can put my three fingers to bring out self-confidence, for instance.
Yes. And of course, it's subtle. You can even do it while you're talking, even if you're not Italian. And or you can do it with one hand while the other hand's writing on a board or something like that. So yes, I'm constantly using the three fingers technique automatically in a class without even thinking about it. And sometimes someone will ask me a question and it's a real doozy. And I'm going, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that question before. And three fingers, and something will always come. It's great.
Yes, because when you're in class and you're teaching, then you're kind of out of that dynamic meditative state and you're in beta. And
absolutely,
when you're in beta, you want to center yourself again, say, okay, how do I connect with my intuition at this moment?
Yes. Absolutely. Now, some of the people who haven't done Silva are probably wondering, how can that do this? Well, it's based on something that's centuries old. It's just association. In Silva, we call it a trigger technique. In NLP, they call it anchoring. In behavioral psychology, it's a conditioned response. So it's something that's very well known, so that basically that gesture is associated with how we felt while we were doing the gesture when we were actually in alpha. So we can, as you say, reset the brain to get back into that, because the fingers will remember and they'll help us to reset. So it's a brilliant technique.
So many Silva students ask me, but how many techniques or how many triggers, how many anchors can I set with the three fingers technique? Well,
yeah, I can understand that, because sometimes when people learn anchors, they learn very specific anchors for a specific state. I know. I've been to a class where I came out saying, "No, this anchor is for this, and this anchor is for this, and this anchor is for this." And I got so confused because they were all very precise. Whereas the three fingers technique is a very general anchor, so that basically anything that you do with your mind when you're in alpha, and that's just, I mean, what can you do with your mind? That's a massive amount of material. You can do better than when you're in beta. Now, when you can't go to beta, you use the three fingers technique, and whatever it is you want to do, memorize something, calm down, get your intuition. What decision should I be making? Do I go that way or that way? All of these things, we just put our three fingers together and we access the same state. So it's general. Mind you, if people are doing mirror of the mind for a specific situation, they can also include the three fingers. They can put themselves in the mirror of the mind and then imagining that they're thinking, "Oh dear, am I able to do this?" And they, in the mirror, they put their three fingers together and instantly they feel calm and relaxed. So they can actually combine techniques and they can create a situation where the three fingers is for something specific. But in fact, you don't have to prepare it. You can get to a situation where you've never been in before and you go, "Uh-oh, what do I do now?" Three fingers, centered, reset. I like that expression. You reset, and now you're in the best possible conditions to cope with something rather than being stressed or anxious or whatever, which we tend to associate with being at beta.
So what I'm hearing is that the three fingers technique is an automatic reset, and it automatically brings up the state that we desire at that moment.
Yes.
Now, can you explain, how does that work?
Because basically, when we have, let's say, I'm wondering whether I ought to use this example. No, I'll use.
We could always cut it out.
There are two examples in the list of 200, which I think I love because they're both to do with customs. But one is from the point of view of someone wanting to go through the customs, and the other one is the customs officer. So they can both use the three fingers. Now, let's say I'm having to go through the customs. It's taking a long, long time because of COVID restrictions or something, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I might miss the plane. I hope they don't stop me, just pick me out from everybody else and start going through the baggage." Now, I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not being guilty. I just don't want to be stopped and risk losing my plane and getting stressed. So I might put my three fingers together so that I will seem to be perfectly calm and natural, and I will not draw any attention. Now, I know people who do this regularly. They say, "Always just sail through." Sometimes they stop the person in front of me. Sometimes they stop the person behind me. But I seem to just sail through. Now, people who are customs officers know how to look for people who are nervous, who don't want to be stopped, but usually it's because they're guilty. So they will be watching for anybody who's slowing in, but you've got your three fingers together. So you might be chatting to somebody, you might be just looking around, and they think they look okay, and you'll get through. Okay, but your intention is set. Oh, I need to just sail through and not be stopped. Put the three fingers together and automatic reset, and I will do the best things possible to be able to do it. But for the customs officer, he can do that to be more alert and aware of people trying to smuggle things through that they shouldn't be doing. If you saw the list, you'll remember this one. But the actual story is this was a customs officer on the border of Texas and Mexico, because, of course, this is where Jose was brought up, in Laredo. And I've been through that border several times, visiting Laredo. And he was doing his job, and this dear little old lady, tiny little grandma sort, came through. "Hello, darling." And his immediate reaction was, "Oh, this innocent old lady won't have anything. And he was about to let her through. But since he always used his three fingers as a sort of like a radar detector, if you like, since he always did that, he put his three fingers together and he suddenly got the feeling, no, check her luggage. She was smuggling exotic parrots worth of fortune, which were not supposed to be going into the States. And he just, so in that case, it triggered intuition because there was nothing on the outside that he would normally have expected. And I suppose every time you do a class and you say, are you using the three fingers? People say they use it for parking. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Jose Silva used to throw up his hands in despair saying, I never taught that in the class. But worldwide, that seems to be what students use it for, to find a place to park the car. Now, again, people say to me, well, what happens? How do you do that? Well, some people think it's magic. Oh, I'll go do that and a parking place will just appear. Well, of course, it's a self-programming. So what happens is you have the intention to find a parking place. Even when it's really... Now, we've used this in Paris, in places where everyone said, this is impossible. No one can park anywhere near here. Well, just let's put our three fingers together. And what happens is, as you say, reset. Now, when you're in that state of mind, you're not just sort of wandering around in the haze and not notice anything. Now you've got your radar out and you're watching and observing and you're noticing things that normally you mightn't pick up. I remember one time we were, only Parisians would know this, we were looking for a park in an area where the Rue Mouffetard, they call it, and every restaurant in the street, every building in the street is a restaurant. So you can imagine you have to walk for miles or get a taxi if you want to park. Well, we're driving right next to Rue Mouffetard. Michael says, okay, everybody, put your three fingers together. Michael's my husband. And we'll see if we can find a park. They go, ho, ho, ho. We all put our three fingers together. And suddenly Michael slows down and stops the car right in the middle of the street. And they go, what are you doing? He says, I'm waiting for a car to arrive. Oh, come on. What is... And lo and behold, just in front of us, out pulls a car and a space is freed. We go, wow, how did you do that? And he says, well, the minute I had my three fingers together, it was like whew, my antenna went out and I'm waiting to pick something up. And he said, my attention was drawn to a man walking on the, what do you say in Canada? Sidewalk.
Sidewalk, yeah.
Walking on the sidewalk, footpath, whatever. And he had his hands in his pocket and he was moving his hands around. So he immediately made the connection. So he just slowed the car down and sure enough, he saw the guy pull his car keys out. Now, obviously, he must be near to the car. So Michael was just sitting, watching him walk towards the car, open it up and drive out. Where we're going, what are you doing? What are you doing? So that's a classic example of how what seems to be manipulating the physical world is basically us just being more aware of what's going on around us and using it for our intention.
If you would like to watch more videos like this, then remember to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Once again, my name is Stephen Dobos, and I am an abundant scientist and coach as well as a Silva Method instructor. See you in the next video.